Hey everyone, and welcome to VR Flight World. In this episode, we're going to show you how to start the Cessna 172 in X-Plane from cold and dark. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to push on the second button there. See the one with 3 lines? You're going to click that button, and we're going to look for our advanced menu. It's top left here. Click on that. We're going to come down to our plugins, and we're going to go down to AviTab, and we're going to toggle our tablet. If you don't have this, it means that you haven't set up AviTab, and I'll leave a link up at the top of the video there how to set that up if you want this. This is going to be my checklist here, so I can run through a checklist, and it's going to allow me to know exactly what we have to do next. So plane manual, and find my checklist. So here's my checklist. I'm going to hit the plus sign twice, zoom in a bit. If you want this checklist, I'll leave a link for it in our description, and you can take a look at that, and that'll you can download this checklist from me. So before we start our engine, we have a few things to do. We have our pre-flight inspection to complete, which if you look around our plane, you know, that's probably good enough for doing a flight sim, but in real life, you'd walk around, you'd check every surface on your plane, and there's a lot of different things that would happen in this step. You'd probably have another checklist for your pre-flight inspection, or you would. The next one here is passenger briefing. We're not going to worry about it. Seats and seat belts, of course, we're not going to worry about that. Brakes, test and set, so we can actually look at our brakes, make sure they are working how we want them to. And in X-Plane, it's set up so as soon as you hit the brakes here, it releases our parking brake. That's fine. So we're going to put on our parking brake here again. And now we're going to check our circuit breakers, which they all look fine to me. I wouldn't worry too much about them. Electrical equipment, so everything's off. And if you want to kind of point like this, like I'm doing here without actually clicking, just pull down the trigger halfway. If you pull it all the way down, you'll be clicking on everything and everything will be turning. It's going to be a big pain. Next here is we're going to be looking at avionics master switch. So that's off, which is the case. And we're going to do fuel selector valve, which is on both right now, which is down there on both. Perfect. And we're going to come up here a little bit. Fuel shutoff valve is on, so we have it pushed in. So avionics circuit breaker, all of them look fine. In this plane, they do nothing. I have another plane that they actually do work, and that's another Cessna 172 from Airfoil Labs. If you want that, I'll leave that link up in the description again. So not in the description, and a card at the top of the screen here. And here we go. So let's get to the good stuff. So normal starting procedures with our battery. So throttle open 1/4 inch. So I'm going to switch hands because I'm going to operate my physical controls that I have set up. All right. So we're going to open the throttle 1/4 inch. Approximately there, and idle cutoff, which means it's all the way back, so that's out. So that if you were flying and you pulled that all the way back, you'd essentially your plane would stop running. Propeller area clear. I don't see anyone out there. You could yell out the window saying prop clear. Master switch is off right now, so we're going to turn that on. And now our flashing beacons are off, so we're going to turn that on. Some people leave the beacon on all the time, and that way if your master's ever on, people will know that your plane is on. So it's also a good way to prevent you from draining your battery if you walk away from your plane and your beacon light is flashing. So if your plane is warm right now, like if you're just flying around, you want to omit the priming procedure. So that's the next 2 steps we're going to do. So auxiliary fuel pump switch on. And what we're going to do is to prime our plane, we're going to put our mixture to full rich until we, just for a couple seconds. So it's going to be 3 to 5 seconds, and this is going to allow the fuel to start flowing. So here we go. So let's put it all the way in. 1, 2, 3, and out it goes. There you go. And it's going to be turning off our fuel pump. And next we're going to be coming down here to ignition switch, and we're going to turn it to start. Blades to start spinning, and then I'm going to push my mixer forward. There you go. And now we're going to immediately want to check and make sure that we have our oil pressure in the green, which we do. So if you want to zoom in like this, it's on the right controller, and it's the X button. As you see it in the screen here, it's the X button, so it's the bottom button. Click that button and it helps you zoom in. And the other thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're around 1000 RPM. So I'm just going to lower that a little bit. So the last thing I'm going to mention here is with engine flooding. So let's just kill our engine here. All right. So in this time, so we don't have our avionics are still off. Perfect. We're going to skip a few steps here. We're going to go straight to our fuel pump. Turn that on. What we're going to do though is we're going to pump in a lot of fuel. All right. So that should be enough. Let's try starting our plane now. Let's turn off our fuel pump. And we're going to go back to the standard procedure here, just a 1/4 inch. And we're going to start this here. As you can see, it's not working. So let's go to our flooded procedure. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this at about halfway for our throttle. We're going to leave this at cutoff. And we're going to just crank our plane over until it starts to start. So you're just going to keep cranking it until it starts. And once it starts, then you can advance your mixture forward. You may need to put this all the way up to full throttle here. Oh, there we go. There we go. And you have to be quick on that throttle because your plane is at full throttle. So while doing this, you'd want to make sure that you're prepared for that plane to start and go full throttle. So if you're into flying the Cessna 172, take a look at the video I have in the top right corner. It's Airfoil Labs Cessna 172. It's a great plane, and I do a quick review on that plane, so take a quick look, and I hope you enjoy.